White South Africans granted refugee status by Trump. Administration arrive in USA flight carrying a group of 59. White South Africans granted refugee status in the United States by the Trump administration arrived at Washington Dulles Airport in Virginia on Monday, a State Department official said. The Trump administration has moved to not only admit, but to expedite the processing of Afrikaners as refugees for alleged discrimination. At the same time, it has suspended virtually all other refugee resettlement, including for people fleeing war and famine. The policy has drawn criticism from the South African government and from refugee advocates. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said Monday that those going to the U.S. do not fit the definition of a refugee. Ramaphosa said he told Donald Trump that what the U.S. president had been told about the persecution of the white minority group was not true. Those people who have fled are not being persecuted. They are not being hounded. They are not being treated badly. He said at a panel at the Africa CO Forum in Côte d'Ivoire, moderated by CNN's Larry Madowo. They are leaving ostensibly because they don't want to embrace the changes that are taking place in our country in accordance with our Constitution, Ramaphosa said. Jeremy Kanindick, the president of Refugees International, called the policy a racialized immigration program masquerading as refugee resettlement, while real refugees remain stranded. The main problem is denying protection to any other refugees from anywhere else in the world, he said. There are millions of refugees around the world, people who have had to flee their home countries due to war or persecution, who have far more need for protection than anyone in this group, none of whom, to my knowledge, had been forced to flee from South Africa. In remarks on Friday, senior White House official Stephen Miller said the arrivals this week are the beginning of what is going to be a much larger-scale relocation effort. Since Trump began his second term, the U.S. has taken a series of punitive measures against South Africa, whose government has been met with ire not only from Trump, but also from his ally Elon Musk, who was born and raised in the country. Both Trump and Musk, the tech billionaire, have alleged that white farmers in the country are being discriminated against under land reform policies that South Africa's government says are necessary to remedy the legacy of apartheid. In January, South Africa enacted the Expropriation Act, seeking to undo the legacy of apartheid, which created huge disparities in land ownership among its majority, black and minority white population. Under apartheid, non-white South Africans were forcibly dispossessed from their lands for the benefit of whites. Today, some 3 decades after racial segregation officially ended in the country, black South Africans, who comprise over 80% of the population of 63 million, own around 4% of private land.